Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Vonson with you once more. This time, again, I remembered to start the recording live. I'm flying the P-39N, and as you can see, we're over Norway, which is not a good map for this plane because most of the fights take place, at least start, at high altitudes. And much above 3,500 meters, this plane really doesn't like it. But it does climb like crazy, so I'm above most of the enemy team. There's an MC-202 you're going to see in a bit. He's above me to start. But we do have this BV-238, and those things are absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to see if I can maybe get a shot at him, getting him out of the match early. Coming from the side under the wings keeps the top turrets with the cannons from getting a shot. Unfortunately, I didn't have quite the right angle. Only got a slight hit on his tail. I do, however, have this 109 that's coming up to me. And I'm not quite sure of energy states. I don't want to try and stall him out, especially up here where I don't do well. So I just cut over, and this is just to assess his energy state. I'm trying to see if I could potentially get a shot, but no, he's going to be able to pull close enough. And from this I can fairly tell that we're pretty close on energy states. I could tell there he wasn't going to quite pull lead, so I pull up over top, try and see if I can get a snapshot as he pulls up, but nope. And I'm not going to continue into a maneuvering fight with a 109 at 5,000 meters in a P-39. So I'm just going to drag him down. He would be able to out-energy me up there fairly quickly if I'd kept that up. And he'd have been able to latch in on my tail fairly quickly. That last merge that we did, he was already starting to gain the position. So, yeah. Now I'm going to try and see if I can do the same thing that I've done to other 109s in the past in the P-51. Try and get him to lock up. But holy moly, he gets his nose up a lot faster than I was expecting him to. I could tell, however, that we were going to merge in such a way to where he wasn't going to be able to get an angle for a shot. So I just turned back into him, and we're in a head-on merge instead of him behind me now. I knew that wasn't going to hit, but I wanted to kind of rattle him a little. And again, I tried to cut up underneath him, but he got his nose down a lot faster than I was expecting again, but his nose went straight down, which means his turn is wider. And cut up right over top of him, get a snapshot. And again, if that pass hadn't worked, if I hadn't gotten a shot, I would have simply extended away again. Because then he would have been going up while I was headed down, very similar to how I got the shot in the first place. He would have possibly been able to get on my tail there. But since that merge worked out, there wasn't any need. He did manage to clip me with his machine guns. Luckily, I kind of rolled at the last second to avoid the cannons. And that was a close thing. That could have been very, very nasty. If he'd have been just a little bit more accurate in that snapshot, I'd have been dead. But it worked out. So I just slot in back on this 110 here. Get a couple of good shots with the cannon. And they're actually working this round. I'll take it. Unfortunately, that A-20 pilot decided he wanted to be a little bit salty. He got a little mad because I took his kill. Didn't seem to be much wrong with the 110. And he has 20mm cannons up front, and yeah. Oh well. Some people just get that way. Now, there's only one real other encounter I want to show you, and that's with this MC-202. I'm not going to kill him, but I am going to show you that the P-39, once it gets in on the tail of a 202, can stay there fairly successfully. There's a BB-238, that one's still up there. I figure, you know what, I'm going to try and drag that 202 to turn around back to me and see if I can maybe get a sneaky snapshot up top, pull down before I reach my stall speed. Yep, and the 202 decides to turn back around. I've got an altitude advantage and I can just dive and gain speed while he's climbing up to me. So that pretty much automatically gives me the speed advantage to start. He tries to turn in for a shot. I just cut up over. He goes nose down, which means his turn is going to be even wider. So I'm going to be able to drop in right behind him here. But he's got enough separation that he's going to be able to create enough of an angle. I don't want to try and cut that. So I just go into a quick climbing spiral, drop back down on top of him, but he had gone nose up, so I'm going to pass underneath. I know I've got a pretty good energy advantage now because he's done two pretty sharp vertical maneuvers in a row. So I just go into a climbing spiral. Start to get a little slow, so I go into takeoff flaps. And since he's got a low enough energy state, he's not going to be able to get up here to me. So now I'm above him and I can just drop in on top. And now is where my control scheme is going to mess me up, because I've been flying the D9, the 190 D9, so I switched my control schemes around. I had my machine guns on the spacebar and my left mouse button for my cannons, but flying the D9, I switched that back up because the cannons are the main weapon you want to use, so I put the cannons on the spacebar. So now I just figured that out. Like, oh, wait a minute, yep, I switched them. He tries to do a bit of a rolling reversal there. I could tell he'd cut throttle, so I cut throttle and go just up over top. Slot back in behind him. He's starting to out accelerate me, so I've throttled back up. Just trying to get a good line up here. I could hear the P-40s coming in, so I didn't want to turn too sharply and risk a collision. I get a hit with the cannons there, but it decided not to work. Cut throttle and drop down on top of him again. Get another couple solid hits. Another one there. Another one there, but our wings are opposite to each other, so just full throttle and go back up into a bit of a climbing spiral to try and drop back in behind him. The P-40 set him on fire, and I get an assist out of the deal, which I'm fine with. I didn't do enough damage to take him down, although I hurt him pretty bad. I got 2 kills and an assist. I'll take it. P-39N, it really is just a very, very good, solid plane. It's extremely fast, especially at low altitudes. It maneuvers fairly well. As you can see, I was keeping up quite nicely with the 109 F1. I wouldn't want to try and get into any kind of extended maneuvering contest with one, but the way I maneuvered with him that time, I would do that every time. It really is just a solid 3.0 plane in the American battle, or in the American tech tree, and I really highly suggest it if you want to learn some of the basics of momentum fighting, high-speed combat, and as a backup, it actually has a very decent turn rate, especially with combat flaps at around 400, 450 kilometers an hour. and takeoff flaps around 300, 350. You have to be careful. You don't want to get too terribly slow, because once you get real slow in this, it does turn into a bit of a tub like most American planes. But at medium to high speeds, this thing really is fairly nice. I hope you guys have enjoyed this match. Yeah, there are a couple enemy planes left. You can see the 238 over there that I had attacked twice. But I really don't do much for the rest of the match. My team, we've got a massive numbers advantage at this point, so they're going to do a good job of wiping up the rest of the team, and that's going to be it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the skies again soon.